Welcome back, everybody, to episode 8 of Bravehearts, A Century of Nan. And today we have a very special episode, Nana.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about what life was like after World War II. Okay? So the post-war period of time when all, the baby boomers were born and the world was getting back to normal, right?
Yeah.
So, are we ready?
I'm ready. Yeah.
All right. Okay. So, the war ended in 1945.
Yeah.
Right? And your husband, my granddad, came home that year. Right? Yeah.
No.
So, tell everybody what I want to ask you is what was it like? What were the feelings? What was the atmosphere like? 1946, 47, 48, after the war.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, when we were in it, bought the house, yes.
Yeah.
It was good.
Yeah.
Things were getting back to normal.
Yeah.
And your husband was coming home for the war.
Yeah.
A year later, 1946.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
why did it take him a year to come home? Was he still in the army?
To get everybody back,
out of Europe.
Out of Europe, that.
So he was off in Italy, right?
He was
fighting?
in Italy, yeah.
Italy, right?
Yeah.
So he was still there after the war. They were making sure that the peace lasted, right?
Yeah.
That the war was over.
Yeah.
And so when did Bob come home?
1946.
Okay.
Middle of 1946.
Middle of 46.
Yeah.
Did he write you a letter and say, "Hey, I'm coming home"?
I knew he was coming home. Yeah.
Yeah.
I knew that. Yeah.
Did you have a big party for him?
No. He didn't believe in big parties.
Right.
We had a tea, a big tea at family.
Well, okay. So did you wait at the bus station for him? Like, where did you meet him?
No, he came right home.
That's it.
Yeah.
You're just in your house.
Yeah.
Making dinner, and he just walked in.
My grandma.
Yeah.
My grandmother.
Yeah. Your mother.
And my mum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your grandmother was still there.
My granny was still there.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So you're in the house. You're waiting for him. You're excited that he's coming home, or
yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
I was pregnant at the time.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So he must have been on leave 6 months before that, 7 months before that, right?
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
So Carol was born in
You're talking about Frances,
yeah. She was born in 1946.
Right. So obviously, Granddad would have had a leave.
Yeah, he had a leave.
In 45,
oh,
46, right?
He had a leave. They was home, yeah.
I'm not good at math, but I'm counting back 9 months, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So he comes home. He just walks in the house. Everyone's like, "Hey, welcome back," or something, right?
Uh-huh.
We're excited to see him. You're happy to see him, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. No problem.
And you had dinner. He sits down like it's normal.
Yeah. If it's happy to get a good dinner.
Yeah. Right.
Because the food in the army.
Yeah.
Some of it.
I imagine not very good, right?
Yeah.
So what? Your mom made him like a nice roast or something,
My grandmother.
Your granny.
My grandmother.
Do you remember what she cooked?
And my mum, the two of them together.
What did they make? Do you remember? Was it a roast? Roast beef.
Potatoes. Roast potatoes.
Was that his favorite?
My grandmother in England. I love all that.
Yeah. Right. Okay. So then you're pregnant.
Yeah.
And
I'm my first daughter.
Bob comes home. And so did he then get a job straight away? Or what happened?
He got a job.
Yeah.
On the building trade, he was a brickie.
Okay. Bricklayer.
He was a bricklayer.
Now, did he learn that before he got the job? Was he trained to do that, or he just got the job?
No, I think he did it before the war.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
It was a damn good one,
right.
too.
Okay.
Yeah.
He liked it, yeah?
He liked it, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Now...
You know the big flats that were built after the war?
Okay, yeah.
He was at Building the
Right.
Oh, yeah. Oh, how they did it, I don't know.
Now, all these men came home from the war. And obviously you would have known a lot of people in Birdie House and a lot of your friends and stuff, right? So what were they like when they came back, those men?
Some of them were all right. Some of them, I remember one girl who went to dance, and her husband was a prisoner of war in Japan, the Japanese. And when he came home, he wasn't worth ups.
Right.
No, worth ups.
Right.
Yeah.
A lot of men were psychologically damaged
Yeah.
and ill-treated.
We're all
in prison
treated for the
camps,
chaps. Yeah.
Now, were there a lot of men in Birdie House then that came back after the war? Did you see them coming in?
No, not really.
One by one?
Not really.
No.
Maybe about 3 or something like that. But
Okay.
no.
Right.
Some of them were a lot young lads.
What about, all the dances that you would go to in Lonehead where after the war, would more men show up after
I
that?
never went much there to dance after the war.
Right.
My husband was home.
Right.
So
And he couldn't
I didn't
dance,
like
right?
it. He didn't dance, but he used to come to the dances.
Right.
Not every time. He
Right.
didn't like it at all.
Right.
But he never stopped me from going if I wanted to go.
Right. Right.
My sister and I.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then you're pregnant and your husband comes home and life just goes back to normal.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
The war's over and you hope that another war is not going to start.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Because, I asked you off camera about this before, but the Russians were a great threat, right? To world peace then.
Yeah.
Obviously the Americans and the Russians were starting a Cold War.
Yeah.
Was that talked about? Were you guys worried about going back to war with the Russians or anything like that?
No, not with us. No,
right.
No.
You were just happy the Japanese were defeated, the Germans were defeated, and you were hoping that everything would just stay normal.
Well, I don't think we had any way to go against Russia because I don't think, as far as I could know, that I don't think Britain had any much job to do with Russia.
Well, I mean, if the Americans went to war with the Russians, Britain was part of the Allied pact.
Yeah. But in America was.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So you'd be back at war within a year.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because then you had the Korean War in 1950, and some soldiers went back to that, right?
Came, yeah. And what was the other one again? The Korean and there was another one.
Vietnam.
Yeah.
Vietnam. Well, that was about 15 years later, but still, right? Yeah.
But my grandmother used to say, "There'll always be wars."
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
And it's true.
Well, it's true.
It's true.
Even to this day, there's still wars going on. Or even look at Russia and the Ukraine today. And,
yeah.
All right.
And I feel sorry for the Ukrainians. I mean, they don't deserve that. Yeah. But that's how it goes.
Let's talk about your family then. It's sort of a sad topic because you were pregnant with your first child, Frances, right? She was born in 1946, right? And you lost her at an early age. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah. She died when she was 6 weeks old.
6 weeks.
Yeah. Found her dead bed.
Right.
And I thought I'd killed her.
Yeah.
But it wasn't the police. We had to go to court, but not a great big court. I moved.
Mm-hmm.
I went to state what happened.
Yeah.
And the police doctor came out the house and went in the room and took the cover off her face and they would test it off. So it was cerebral hemorrhage she died with.
Okay, all right. Just a brain hemorrhage at 6 weeks old.
You have an open the thing in your head.
Okay.
Hit, opened up.
Right.
That's what killed her.
Just in the middle of the night, and then you woke up.
I thought I'd killed her.
That must have been horrible. I mean, so you woke up, and your little daughter is not waking up. You don't think she's dead right away, right?
Yeah.
But you're like, Frances, wake up, right? She doesn't wake up, and then you realize that she's gone, right?
Because I'll never forget my sister. My mum came through, my sister came through, and her first words to me were, "I've never forgotten them. What have you done?"
Your mum said that?
My sister.
Oh, sorry, your sister said to you, what have you done? Yeah.
Dad, what have you done?
Yeah.
And you know what that meant,
Yeah, your fault.
It could have been accidental.
Yeah.
But it was a terrible hemorrhage.
Right.
Yeah.
Couldn't help it, right? Nature took its course. And,
the wheel when her head had fallen, that was it.
Wow.
Then I had Carol, mother, daughter.
But you waited about 5 years,
yeah,
right, later.
5
so
years.
How were you feeling? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but how were you feeling in those couple of years after Frances passed? And what were you thinking? What was life like?
Well, I said I was going to have any more.
Yeah.
But it never happened that way. So.
Right.
I had 5 years, and then 5 years later I had Anne.
Right, well, let's back up. So in 1950, you had
Carol.
my mom.
Yeah, Carol, your mom.
Right?
Your
Okay,
mum,
yeah. And then when she was also 6 weeks old and she was very young, were you terrified that something was going to happen to her? What
I
were you
know,
thinking?
yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I wouldn't let her out my sight or anything like that.
So she was just always with you, right?
Oh, yes.
In like a cot next to your bed or something? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
She was a good kid, good baby, Carol. And was more waking up through the night, get into bed, chasing happy. And
So Andrew, third child,
the third child.
she was born in 1956. Okay. Now you still lived, when Carol was born, you still lived with your mum in Birdie House.
Yeah.
And then you moved.
Yeah, we've got a house here. This is the house.
So this house that we're sitting in right now.
We're sitting in now.
Yeah, yeah.
So many years is that?
A lot.
I can't count.
A lot.
I can't count.
Well, it's 2022. 70 years. Is that right? 70 years. Yeah, 70, because my mom's 72.
72, yeah.
70 years, Nana has been living in this house, right? So let's talk about moving then, okay? Because that was a big deal for you, right?
Yeah, my mother was upset. My mom.
You moved from your home village of Birdie House, and it's only about, how far is it? 5 kilometers up the street? It's not far, right? It's not far. 5 minutes in a car, right?
Yeah, you could walk it. That? You could walk it.
Well, could you?
You could walk it, yeah.
Okay. In about an hour.
Right? Oh, it didn't take that long.
So how did your mum react to the news that you were
moved? She was in awful state. She didn't like me to plead with beef.
Right.
No.
Right.
Nothing I could do.
Yeah.
No, you did it out of your own.
Yeah.
But I went up my mum's. I went up nearly every day to see her.
Every day?
Yeah. Yeah, I got the bus up.
With Carol?
With me in the pram. The good chair.
Okay. So were you working at that time? Were you working?
No, I wasn't working then.
Okay.
No.
So then you have Carol, then you move into the Inch down here in this house. Then you had Anne in 56, right?
And she was born here
in the house. Okay.
It's a Sunday.
Why was everyone born in a house back in those days?
No.
Why weren't they born in hospitals?
Not my first daughter. She was born in Simpson's maternity hospital.
Okay.
The one that died.
Yeah.
But I says I wouldn't go back to hospital.
Why?
So my mum said she had her here.
Why didn't you go back to the hospital?
Well, I was born here in this house.
Yeah.
It was a Sunday. I remember that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why didn't you go back to the hospital?
I didn't. After what happened to my daughter, I didn't go back.
Really?
Yeah.
You were superstitious? You thought something happened to her in the hospital?
Yeah.
Maybe the doctors did something wrong?
No, I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think it's just one thing that happened and that was it.
Now, when Carol was born in the house and when Anne was born in the house here, did a doctor come to the house?
Oh, a nurse.
The nurse? Yeah.
You got the nurse.
And how did you contact them? I mean, were there telephones in those days?
You had their address. They knew.
Did you have a telephone? You had a telephone?
Oh, yeah. Wait, then?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I can't remember. I had my phone.
Like in 1950?
I must have done.
Like you're going...
No, I didn't have a phone.
So you're going into labor. You're like, oh, wow, I'm about to, I'm about to give birth.
Yeah.
How do you tell the nurse to come over?
Was here. He was here at the time.
So what did he do? He ran down the street?
He ran and phoned the phone box.
Oh, okay. So you would have to go outside to the public phone box, put in like 2 pence or whatever it costs, right?
Something like that, yeah.
Hi, this is Bob Turner. Can you be down here in 5 minutes?
Here in 5 minutes, all right.
Wow.
Oh, it was...
think about that.
So that's it all day.
Going to a public phone booth to call the nurse for them to come down. That's crazy.
But that was these days, that's what happened.
Yeah. Okay.
But they came, I think took less than 5 minutes for it to come.
Okay.
That was the Sunday.
For Carol.
My sister took Carol up to stay with her.
Yeah.
While I was in labour and that,
All right. So then you had 2 daughters and you started a new life living down here.
Yeah.
A place that you said before you've never liked.
No,
right? You don't
don't like it.
70 years later, she still doesn't like it, right? Now, what was it like down in this neighborhood in the 50s? What were the people like? In the Inch, on Walter Scott Avenue, what was it like?
The top end.
Yeah.
The river.
Yeah.
Well, I had one good friend, that was Mrs. Devlin, Jean.
Yeah.
And Mrs. Finch across the road.
Yeah.
She was all right, you know. Not to say that it was Faye. She was all right. My neighbour did this to Hilda.
Yeah.
She tried to put a first row there over the bairn.
Yeah.
Because Carol was choking outside my door,
Yeah.
playing peavery beds. Out my door.
Playing what?
Peavery beds.
What does that mean?
On the pavement.
Okay, okay.
Kind of things in pavement. And she told Carol to pack it in. No, it was my door.
Mm.
So I went down. I said, excuse me, Hulda, this is my house, my door. You don't tell my daughter what to do, what not to do.
But you lived next to Hilda for 50 years, right? 60 years.
Yeah.
Were you friends later?
Oh, one of that great friends. So. She had two sons. I don't know if Edward's still living. Peter's bought his mother's house, sold it when she died, and he was married.
Okay.
But Edward, I've never seen Edward for years. I don't know if he's still.
Hilda passed away about 10 years ago, right?
Oh, more than that. Yeah.
Now, you are the only person that left on the street, right? Yeah. Every one of your friends has either moved away or passed on,
Mr.
right?
Mr. Sked.
Now,
Dad Brown and them all.
Back in that time, in the early 50s, I wanted to ask you this question about television, right? Because you've told me before, right?
Yeah.
Now, 1950, 51, 52, people started having a bit more money. And you told me about the first television that was on the street. Can you tell everybody about that?
My neighbour did the stair and a 12-inch.
Hilda.
Yeah. And we were invited to see this.
So you must have been friends.
And I always remember it was an English football match.
Yeah.
Because her husband was English too.
Okay.
Hilda's.
Were Bob and her husband, were they friends?
Oh, they were quite friends.
Yeah.
And I can't mind his name now. But we were all waiting, and it was the great Stanley Matthews.
Yeah.
You know, mind the Stanley Matthews?
Yeah.
And the other guy for the other team, they're all players, you know. Yeah. The other guy was good too.
Yeah.
And a fantastic match. And of course, Stanley Matthews' team won, you know.
So the first television show you ever watched was 1952, and it was a football game.
Stanley Matthews and
English football game.
Yeah, English one.
And a bunch of people were in the house watching this?
There were about 20 of us watching this.
Really?
So
the TV's about this big?
It's just that like that.
Yeah. And everyone's just sitting there watching.
It was brilliant.
Yeah.
It was absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, that technology, what did you think about it? Did it blow your mind? Like, what were you thinking?
Television.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I got my first telly. Oh, not long after that.
Yeah.
Paid it up, like.
So you were excited. You said, I want to buy a TV as well.
Bob says, just leave it now. We'll get one.
Yeah.
But it was not a big one like that.
Yeah.
It was a 32-inch.
Yeah.
No, it was great. It was absolutely
32 inches, 1955. I mean, that's still quite big, right?
Yeah, it was quite big.
Black and white.
They changed it later on, years to come, for the big one.
Yeah. Now, in those days, how many channels did you have on the TV?
Oh, you didn't have a lot of channels. You had just Scottish, English.
It was BBC 1.
1, 2.
BBC 2.
3.
BBC 3.
4.
And Scottish channel.
Up to 4.
4 channels. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, do you remember the kind of TV shows that they had on back then?
Oh, God. It was funny. Funny shows.
Yeah.
Comedians and
all
the likes of that. There was a good selection.
Yeah.
A better selection than what you have now. To be
what?
honest
Really?
with you. I think so.
You have 250 channels now.
I know.
Yeah.
But you get the repeats.
Right.
All this year since it started. So you've had repeats in your telly.
Okay.
You've seen them all before, but
so
they're still good.
Back then, is it live television or something? Mm-hmm. Or back in those days, what the TV shows? You had comedies, you had maybe cowboy movies or whatever, right?
Yeah.
War movies.
Like Bob
Hope, yeah.
And what's his name? Bob Hope and the crooner.
Sinatra.
Eh?
Frank Sinatra.
No, the older guy. He was in that film with Frank Sinatra and that.
Okay.
But I can't remember his name. He was good. It was a pal of Bob Hope and him used to be the guy.
Right. Was there news on the TV?
Oh yeah, you got news.
Really? BBC News?
STD, Scottish News, English News.
Right. So it's same as today.
Yeah.
But 4 channels.
Same as today, but 4 channels.
All right.
You've got 501, 503.
Yeah.
You get the news all over.
Okay. Now let's back up a little bit. I want to go back to the beginning of the 1950s because a major event happened in Britain where Queen Elizabeth, her dad, right, King George, passed away in 1953.
Yeah.
And it was the coronation. I know you're a big fan of the Queen. In fact, we have a picture of you over here with the Queen, right?
Yeah.
So what, do you remember that day when the Queen was coronated? You know, when Princess Elizabeth became Queen?
Yeah, it was beautiful.
Yeah.
What a beautiful lassie. She was a good looking lassie.
Yeah.
Good looking woman.
Do you guys go downstairs to Hilda's to watch it?
Oh, we had the telly here. We had
by that time you had your own one?
Oh, we had
in 53?
Yeah, we had my own telly. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So did you have like a big celebration, like a lunch or something special?
We drink and that, you know, celebrate.
Yeah.
She was a lovely little woman. Yeah. She was, but see her now, she's like the rest of us, 100-year-old dearly. But she's a great queen.
Yeah, I mean, one thing that people have to know is you're a big fan of the Queen, right? Yeah. And on your 100th birthday last year, you got a card from the Queen, the photo, right?
Yeah.
It said, "Dear Anne, you know, happy 100th," right? I mean, it wasn't personalized from the Queen, but it was a very nice touch, right?
I think she gets a lot done to anybody that's 100. They get to say, you know. Yeah. Oh, she said, I like the Queen. I really do. I like it.
Yeah.
It's the way she gets treated with some of the family. I don't like that.
Yeah.
They do very well. The royalty, they should not carry on like that.
Well, she's done a lot for the country.
Yeah,
right?
she's got a lot on that plate.
She's almost your age, right?
Yeah.
She's almost your age.
Yeah.
Queen, right?
She's 85, 86.
So
she married Scott.
Yeah.
He was a handsome guy.
Right.
Yeah.
So the people, the Scottish people on your street, right? Were they celebrating this? Was it a big event on your street that people liked this was happening, or what was the atmosphere like?
I was down here at the time of the coronation.
Yeah.
Not in my street. Here, you mean
here on the Inch. So I'm saying the Scottish people, your friends, what were they saying at that time?
Everybody was just looking at the telly, watching the telly.
Was everyone happy about the situation?
Oh, yeah. Everybody had a telly.
Yeah.
These days, you know, no one watched the telly.
But my question is, were people excited? Were they happy? What were the
they were happy
feelings and the thoughts of the people at the time?
They were happy with the Queen.
Yeah.
But I think she's great. I really do. It's the way she gets treated at times. I don't like with her family.
Right.
But the only one that I like.
Grandkids you're talking about, right?
Eh?
You're talking about her grandkids now, right?
Yeah. And her son.
Yeah.
They're all
Andrew.
Andrew, yes. And she doesn't deserve
not a nice man.
She doesn't deserve that. Nice man. No.
But it's fair to say that you, and we'll talk about this in a later episode, not now, but later, you do like the Queen and you do like the royal family, right?
I do.
As a Scottish person, you're not against them. You do like them, right?
Oh,
and we'll talk about that in our Scottish independence video that we're going to make next week, right?
I hope not.
No, but that's a different episode, I'm just saying, right?
Yeah.
So let's get back then to the 50s, all right? Let's go back.
Yeah.
You have 2 kids and you're living here. Life is better, right? You have more money than you had before, right?
Yeah.
Your husband has a job.
Yeah.
Now, did you start working?
Yeah, I started working. What was my first job now? Let me think. Oh, the co-op down the road.
Co-op in the supermarket.
Supermarket.
Down the street.
Here and County Lass. They were good. We were all good friends. We all got on great.
Yeah.
And used to the manager. I don't know if he's still living. He's keeping Petticoat. Him and the other guy, and he used to invite us up to his house at Christmas and that.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was a nice guy.
Yeah.
He was married.
Yeah.
You know, he was married.
Yeah.
Big man.
Confirmed bachelor.
He had a partner. Sorry.
Right. Confirmed bachelor, right?
It's big bag at pub there. She was one of my mates. Molly Crawford. And another 2 of us all went up to Petticoat.
Yep. How long did you work in the co-op?
11 years.
11 years. Yeah.
Then I went to work with Mr. Conte.
Yeah.
I was there 16 years.
No, I think after the co-op you worked in the pub. Right? That's first.
Oh, yeah.
Right? You're skipping 20 years.
Sorry, yeah.
Well, we're going to do a whole separate... So Nan worked in the Rob Roy, this pub that is about 100 yards, was 100 yards from where I'm sitting. It's gone now. But we're going to do a whole separate episode on your life
in the pub,
in the Rob Roy, because you have a lot of stories to tell about that, right? Those are great stories. In fact, you still meet people today outside that went to the pub, right?
Yeah,
all the time, right? So you worked in the co-op, and then at the same time you worked in the Rob Roy, or you quit the job. You had 2 jobs at the same time.
Yeah. I was all 32 years in the Rob Roy.
Yeah.
And I had a good boss.
Yeah.
Carly.
Yeah.
It was brilliant.
Yeah.
A brilliant job.
But again, save those stories. We're going to do a different episode, right? No. It's great. I just want to get a sense of like what your life is like. You had 2 jobs at the same time.
Yeah.
And 2 kids.
Yeah, but my husband was brilliant.
Yeah.
He was here. He looked after them.
Yeah, well, he'd be working, and then at nighttime, you would go to work. Right?
And he was there. Yeah.
Now, in those days, did many women also work? I mean, back in that time.
Oh, yeah. After the war, a lot of women work.
Right. So a lot of people, a lot of families had both parents working.
Yes.
Back then.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. And now, was that difficult then to raise 2 daughters and to
Oh no.
To keep a life like that, right?
No, it was no problem. Well, no problem to me.
Yeah.
Because I had a brilliant husband.
Yeah.
I would say but when the girls would ask for him a night out.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Right, I'll put the beers.
You watch the kids and make dinner or watch TV or something, right?
He would do that. It's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. I couldn't have got anybody better.
Yeah.
It was like my dad. The same nature.
Did he? I guess I have to ask this question. Did he ever talk about the war when he came back?
No, very seldom.
Yeah.
So I want to forget about all that.
Yeah.
But I remember him telling us a story. One of his mates in the army, when they were abroad or something, and they just went back off the leave, you know. And I never met the guy. I don't know who it was, but one of the guys in the army. It was part of it. And he says, this day says we got up, and this is. I don't know if you know my husband, the pal.
The friend, yeah.
It says to my husband, I don't feel very well.
Yeah.
You know, says John got a report in. So we went to see Sergeant Major. Hope to tell us this when I come home. The Sergeant Major says, you can how they taught that very big man.
Well, the Sergeant Major was always the top guy, the leader, right? Yeah.
Well, I can't mind his name, this guy's name. What's the matter? What can I do for you? He says, sir, I think I'm called plurist.
Okay. Yeah.
It was just a thing that he go.
Yeah. He was lying.
Also, he said, what? He says, tell him I thought I had plurist.
Yeah.
He says, you came on plurist is like. I've had it twice. I came on it's like myself.
Yeah.
Well, it's hellish.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
He did not have pleurisy. He was lying about that, right? He was lying.
Oh, he was lying. It was wanting time off.
Yeah.
Okay. You only get time off, all right. I've got pleurisy.
So that's the only story he ever told about the war.
He never talk about it. Right.
War. Did he talk to his friends about it, or?
Well, maybe
in the pub having a few beers, right?
At the pub or that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because on a Friday night, when I worked the lounge on a Friday night, and Bob used to come round for a pint. Oh, I used to push him for an extra pint. And no charge him, like. But I waited until it was quite empty, really, so that's when the Bob got his extra pint. But anyway, I had a thing where they used to come in. They kenned my husband, they talked to that. So Andrew came at the club this Friday night, and he says to me, what coming in tonight? I says, I think he's coming in for a pint. So the family was going up. I mean, Caroline was working and that, you know. I says, how, why? He says, to tell you about the wages. I says, the wages? You know, how? He worked in the building trade and all this guy. I said, oh, what do you mean? What, the wages? I said, I didn't bother about the wages, I get mine, that's all that matters. Did they not tell you about the big rise we had, Dad? It's no tell you? Well, you give him hell, because it was all a joke.
Oh, right.
It was sort of a
It
joke.
was a setup.
This
Yeah.
used to say that to me every week.
Yeah.
You tell him somebody came in. I says, "You funny, eh? You never told me anything."
Mm-hmm.
Told you what? I says, "The big rise that you forgot in your wages." What rise? I says, "That was Andrew's thing." So when Andrew came in, he says, "You're Andrew. Did you get that rise?" It was all good banter, you know.
There's no pay raise. It
was all a joke. It was all. We used to get that every week.
All right. So, but again, we'll talk about the Rob Roy in a separate episode, right? Different episode. Your time, because you had 30 years in that pub, and it was a great part of your life, right?
32 years.
So I want to do a full episode on the Rob Roy, not now, but in a future episode. So it was fair to say that in late 40s, in the 50s, life was a lot better than it was before, right? In the 30s and in the 40s, right? The war was over. People were feeling good about themselves.
Yeah.
People had jobs, right?
My grandmother.
Yeah.
My granny died there. My granny sealed.
What year?
But died of lives. She was all over with me.
What year did she die?
Yeah.
What year did she die?
She just died after the war finished.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right.
Because she had come through the First World War.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they also look at your granddad.
Yeah.
They always liked him.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
And he was happy to be home.
Oh yeah.
No more war, no more fighting, right? Yeah. And sort of the atmosphere of the country, of the people would be we're getting back to normality, right? We're doing normal things again. We're all working.
I said to your granddad one night, have a coffee. There's no coffee. I never drunk coffee then.
Yeah.
He drank coffee. I drank tea. But the kids were away out somewhere. And I said, "Oh, but," he said, "see when you were in Italy." Aye. What? I said, "How many kids did you leave there?" What? I said, "How many kids did you leave there?"
Yeah.
Oh, this is.
Yeah.
This is what we used to joke.
You're trying to wind them up, right?
We used to joke about all that.
Yeah.
Because some of them didn't have a carry on.
Yeah, sure.
But my man would never do that.
No.
He was in that type.
No, he was a great guy.
Yeah.
He was a great man, right?
He was a great
guy. Yeah.
But I'd stay in the laugh. When the children did you leave?
Would you like to go back to that time and live that time again in the 50s? No? Why not?
No, this is doing the same either.
I mean, I know you want to go back to the 1930s, right? Probably, right? That you would choose to go back in time?
No, really, Graham.
No.
Don't really, son.
Okay.
No, I would like to go back.
Okay. No, you're not helping me here. I thought the answer would be yes. You don't want to go. You don't want to go back to the 50s and live that time again.
No.
Why not?
I prefer the time now.
Right now. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Why's that?
Yeah. I don't know. It's more. I don't know. It's different altogether. I mean, you can't. Money was bad. Money was scarce.
Yeah.
And you really said, "Oh, hope we've got enough for the next meal and all this."
Right.
No.
So your
mother had only a pension then. My dad was killed, when I was 15.
Yeah, but in the 50s we're talking about, right? You had two jobs. There were two people in the family were working. Were you still living week to week? Is that what it was like?
Did you think I got a week?
I don't know. I don't think you were rich.
7 shillings a week.
7 shillings?
My mother got 10 shillings a week to count money for the government.
And what about Granddad? What did he make?
Granddad was dead then.
No, your husband.
Oh, my husband.
My granddad.
Yeah.
What wages was he on?
I don't know. He was in the building trade.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But £10 a week or something like that?
More than that.
More than that, yeah.
They were in peace for some of it.
Yeah. So was there enough then to buy food?
Oh, there was plenty.
Yeah.
Oh, my dad died. It was
No, your husband, I'm saying Bob, in the 50s, right?
Yeah.
1950s.
Bob died in 1939.
No, you're confusing again. You're confusing your dad and your husband. I'm talking about after the war, 1952, right? When you were here, you had enough money, right? 2 people working. You were working. Granddad Bob was working, right?
Yeah.
So you're saying life was difficult, but did you have enough money to pay the bills and your food?
Well, I didn't have money for that.
Yeah.
But
did you save any money at that time, or you couldn't save, right?
Before that, it was poor.
Yeah. But after the war, things changed. People had more money, right?
We had a Labour government then.
Yeah.
I think. Yes, we had.
That's one more thing I wanted to ask you about, actually. Because in 1945, the great Winston Churchill
He's Tory.
lost his job, right?
Yeah.
And I know you like him,
Yeah.
right? But you voted probably because you're a Labour fan. You voted against him.
Oh yeah, I was
45.
voting Tories.
Right.
Because I like Winston Churchill, but I just didn't like the government.
Yeah. Yeah.
They didn't do this, they didn't do that, no, the rest of it.
Mm. But that man won the war, right?
It was brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
And
Churchill.
And his reward was to lose his job.
Yeah.
Did you feel bad for him?
But he got back on again.
Yeah, 51, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying Labour are perfect, but I would never vote for the...
Now, when Labour was in power in 1945, 46, 47, 48, did they help the country at all? Like, what did they do? Do you remember?
To be honest, I can't remember.
Yeah.
I can't even remember who the Prime Minister was.
Attlee.
Oh, Clement Attlee.
Yeah, Clement Attlee, yeah.
But I quite like this guy that's leader of the Labour Party.
Now?
Yeah.
Keir.
Keir,
all right.
And I like the guy who spoke to him.
Nan has been a Labour voter for 80 years.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
You've been a Hearts fan, a Jambo fan, and a Labour supporter for the past 85 years, right? All right.
My father was a Democrat.
Yeah.
Liberal
Democrat. Yeah.
It was liberal in these days.
Yeah.
It's liberal.
Yeah.
And,
Liberal Party, yeah.
My dad was one of the liberal. Now it's Liberal Democrats.
All right, Nan.
I quite like them. I like when the leader that was that really, it was Air Talker.
Yeah.
I never voted for them. I'm still a Labour.
But you voted back in the day. You went out and voted during elections, right? You went out and voted,
Yeah.
Every time, Labour, check, right?
Now we get things sent to us.
Yeah.
Postal votes.
Yeah.
That's what Shannon works at.
Yeah.
The girl.
We're gonna wrap up this video. Now, is there any lasting memory from that time that you can remember, the 1950s? Like, what was any big memory? What was the biggest thing about the 1950s that you can remember? Was this the change in technology or life? Like, what's the one memory you can think of that you would say this is the 50s?
But change it in some of the things, but I can't complain, Grail.
Yeah.
I had a good life.
Yeah.
I had a good husband.
Yeah.
Good family.
Yeah.
Well looked after.
Yes.
And I've no regrets. So.
And you have a great grandson, right?
Oh, I don't know him at all. I don't know who he is.
All right, guys. We're going to wrap this video up, Nana. Thank you for talking to us about the 1950s. In the next video, we're going to talk about the Rob Roy, all right? So just say cheerio to all the people out there, right?
Nice talking to you.
All right, guys. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe if you want to see more of Nan. Watch our videos. Thank you very much, guys. Cheerio.